Hey there guys, what is going on? It is Gale right here. Welcome back to the channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we're going to be showcasing Haruhime. Particularly, I'm going to be showcasing her in BUSTER. I kind of want to wait and see in actual performance when it comes to the real thing for war games, to be able to test her out there. In all honesty, I don't want to test her out there without any hesitation, but over the next few days you'll see me use Haruhime in, well, BUSTER. I'll be doing the EX stages that are out right now for the story, and along with that I'll be using her in 7 zone. So we'll see overall how she is, how much better she is for a support role, and go from there. Now, of course, if you guys want to enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if you've used Haruhime, how are you finding her, and yeah, you guys can go check out my summon video as well, which I've uploaded last night. Well, last night for me basically, but earlier on, where I did summon for her and I got a decent chunk of her. So keep an eye out on that video. You guys can see what happened there. Some really good luck, of course. But yeah, this is the team I'm going to be rocking. Of course, the big change, if you saw my Revis BUSTER video, was I removed Toka basically. Toka's come out for Haruhime. I'm going to be running Haruhime from the get-go. We shall see how it goes, because I have a feeling that this is going to be a game changer. Like I said, I think this Haruhime is going to be universally really good, especially with the way her kit is built, and especially against this Revis boss. So, you know what? I think without a further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to talk about my movements and what I'm doing in much more detail now that we're in the fight. One thing I want to do is lower the volume on my end, because I cannot hear myself, and that's going to be a problem when I'm talking about what I'm exactly doing. So obviously you guys saw I got 1.42 billion as my score just off an initial run. Of course, last time around for Riveria I had 1.7 billion. It was much better. Because of the way Revis is designed as a boss, you want to try and make sure your buffs are going off the charts basically from the get-go, because the turns she debuffs, you spend so much time setting it back up that it becomes a problem. And especially with this team, where initially, like I said earlier on, in my Revis boss fight, I was struggling to survive. The HP was really low. I was having to try and navigate through certain movements and abilities to be able to do something with it. I think this time around we will be in a much better position. So the start of this fight is going to be the same. There's not going to be any differences with the start of this fight. In all honesty, we're going to be going for the same basics effectively. There's not going to be any differences. So let's just go off on Revis in the meantime. Obviously, early on in the fight, no stress at all. We don't have to worry too much about this, and we'll just start attacking from the get-go now. Also, one thing to note as well is that we're gonna try and give Haruhime her buff. So let's look at her skills actually while we're here. So as you guys can see, her skills are really good here. So you get a fast increase SAK charge for herself at 111%. Then you give allies 33% as well. And her endurance, agility, dexterity, physical resistance, and magic resistance for the said allies also increases, along with HP regen and HP heal. It is ridiculously good, because the moment you do use this against Revis especially, all you need to do is the second and third abilities, because these are all just pure buffs. You're not using this ability to debuff Revis, you're just using it to effectively deal that buff to everybody in your team. Let's use that right now. Let's use that, and we'll go and talk about her other skills later on. Now, the one thing I'm thinking of doing here, and it's a little bit funky, I know, is I'm going to be doing this just so that I can give that magic as well to Haruhime, primarily to do that, just to do that. And I'm going to use this ability as well to just get that light attack damage bonus on Haruhime. Again, it's not really required, I feel, for a unit like this, purely because you're just using Haruhime as a support stick effectively, right? But it's gonna come in handy. Now, for Haruhime, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna be using her special arts, because like I said, the buffs are what you need here, and you're gonna get so many buffs here. So we're just gonna use that, and we're gonna just let her rip. And then the next turn, we're gonna be able to start using Haruhime's second and third skill instead. So let's get it going right now, and let's see what happens. And of course, because of that, we've gotten huge stat buffs as well from that ability, which is fantastic. It's gonna just boost our damage across the board. Because the one thing people may not realize is that's 120% STR and magic boost. Your attack across the board is going to be massive. Now, of course, the one thing people may worry about is how is Haruhime going to fare as a unit, especially as somebody who's going to be, you know, maybe not necessarily doing too much in terms of like, you know, attacking wise. She's not going to do too much damage, and that may be a concern. But I feel like the boost that she gives to, you know, Lazar, Finn, Fianna, and whatever else units you may use for Record Buster, I think that's going to be very important. So what I'm going to do here instead is I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to be using her foe ability right now, in all honesty, because Fianna already is giving us that status debuff +2 on your enemy, as well as your status buff on allies +2 turns, so that's fine. Because what I want to do is for the second turn, when Revis removes her debuffs, I want to use Migiri then. So right now we'll stick to Yaozu and go for that basically. So let's hit it, and you can see just the damage, man. It's just so much higher. It's just ridiculously high. It's ridiculously good. So let's keep going with this. We're gonna just see how it goes. And on top of that, because of the counters, we're just stacking up more and more damage. Again, it's just damage, and that's mainly the things that are very, very, very important for us. So we're gonna just use this. We're gonna just keep going like this. Of course, Fianna doesn't get any buffs or anything of that sort, so we're gonna just stick to this and use this. There we go. Beautiful, absolutely fantastic. So let's just keep going with this. The one big thing about this as well is like we're just trying to get the these special arts going. Basically, we just want that to pop off. Now, the big thing I would love to have here is by turn 9, I want to get that to 3 bars of charge, which would be amazing. Now this is going to be the test basically of whether or not that will happen, and I think it will happen because look at it, we're almost there. And because of the fact that Haruhime has that 111% charge, you're going to be able to get that very easily. So there we go. We're in a very, very good spot, and now we can just do this again, and let's let her rip. Basically, there's nothing for us to stress about at all. The next turn we're gonna launch a triple SA. I'm trying to think what would be my score. What will be my score at the end of this run? I'm expecting 1.5 or 1.6 billion in my opinion. I don't think it's gonna be a massive increase. Like I'm stating it as if it's gonna be I'm gonna get 2 billion or something. No. I don't think that's gonna be the case. But what I am gonna get is a very, very, very solid score. I do believe there is definitely a deficit in probably running a support unit versus a fourth DPS unit, I should say, like I was running Toka, right? I think that's one thing, but I think for an average player, you're just wanting to deal as much damage as possible. But not only just the damage, you want to just also make sure you're surviving, and this Haruhime helps you out in every situation, basically surviving, you know, support. It's just gonna be super, super handy. So you guys can see here, of course, now we're not dealing as much damage, and that's just because of the powers that may be, in terms of like we just got a lot going for us. So let's just do this again. We're gonna debuff our good friend Revis here again. I was gonna say Riveria, but that's not Riveria. We're gonna debuff our good friend Revis here again and go from there. But yeah, this is where things get very interesting because we don't have the buffs anymore. In all honesty, I would have probably taken the plunge and just done this. I think that's what I might do for my future runs. Is I won't use a Militus Missio for Lazar from my next run onwards on this specific turn, just so that we can get that damage going, so that we can get the counters going, because counter damage is very important. That's one thing to note as well if you're a player, is you get that counter damage going. It is so good. It is genuinely something you really want to have consistently. So there we go. We're just dealing a lot of damage right now. I am very curious to see how much we'll get at the end of the turn in terms of like turn 15. What is going to be the SA gauge at? I think it's still going to be 3. I think we're going to get 3 bars. It's not going to be higher than that. I mean, if we get to 4 bars of gauge, it'll be something else. I think if I had Ali at plus 33%, if I had her plus 33% SA gauge charge, or maybe if I had her at plus 5, basically, that is say max limit break, I think we probably could have gotten much more special arts. Well, not much more. It's only an 11% increase, but it would have been significant enough for us to probably get the essays going. So let's see now. Let's just keep going. We're just dealing damage here now. This is pretty much it. And yeah, we're gonna get 3 essays off. I don't think it's possible to get 4 essays off unless you really target going for that particularly, but it's not possible. I don't think so at all. I really don't think so. Let me see, what is Haruhime's heals? 14,000. Jesus, I did not know she was healing that much. I wasn't paying attention to it, but that is actually just crazy amounts of healing. Again, like I said, I'm really interested to see how she's gonna perform in a situation of war games, because I think she might be a bit of an underrated unit. I think you're not gonna get that turn 2 essay. I don't think that's possible. You'd have to really just go crazy with you're just gonna have to go crazy with the essay gate charge boost on all your assists and stuff like that. But I think this is still going to be a very solid, I think she's still going to be very solid for war games. Maybe if you run like, say, Haruhime plus Ryu and then just 2 DPS units just going ham, you know. I think that might be the move, in all honesty. A good amount of damage there, of course, from the SA. Getting the triple SA off as well, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck, I feel, as well in this regards. So let's see what's happening here. That's one thing as well you want to try and hope for, is Revis goes for somebody else in that final turn instead of Haruhime, because Haruhime's counters are just heals, right? They're not damage dealing ones. So let's see. I'm very curious about this. 1.78. Damn. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting 1.5. I said 1.5, 1.6. It's 1.779. Alright, that's really good. Now, I do believe, I want to check the unit popularity. Maybe people are using it? No, if people aren't starting to use it, of course, it'll update every hour. And Haruhime only came out like 3 to 4 hours ago, so people are probably still trying to figure out like the best skill flows and stuff like that. And not everybody is planning on summoning immediately, right? They want to wait and see how the unit is and stuff. But that was a 3 million increase, and of course this is only one situation. This is only against Revis, hence why I want to do more footage on like other stages. And once we get the next week's war games, because next week we should be getting war games as well as the Grand Familiar Battle, which I will be not streaming. Well, I might stream that, but I might also make a video on it and, you know, talk about that, because those things will be very important. Now, of course, I think things would be a lot more better for me personally in terms of like if I actually had, you know, +5 Ali, you know, +5 Felice, stuff like that. I think small things that could have been better. I want to see what are players running on the top rank. So Fen, let's look at Fen's rank and see what he's rocking. So yeah, he's rocking a very similar composition here. Basically, instead of Haruhime, he's gone for the other Lazar. I think if you have the other Lazar, you're much better off. And yeah, he's got better units as well, like this Argonaut. I wish I had that Argonaut at a higher limit break. I think he's only at +1 or +2 or something like that. It's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. But you look at the character roster, it's just so much better. I think 1 or 2, like what's letting me down, I would get a much higher score if I had better assists primarily. If I had Argonaut in his place, and if I had just had +5 on Ali and Felice, probably would have been a much better run. But either way, there you have it. There is my run with the Record Buster stage with Haruhime. I think that's a fantastic showcase. In all honesty, you could see what she does. Again, like I said, I think you're losing the damage for sure. When it comes to this Haruhime, you're definitely losing the damage, but what you get instead is security as well as raw support, and that is very good for especially new players. I would say if you're a new player, you're just trying to get 1 copy of this unit, I think that's going to take you so far, because again, you just see what she's doing, the HP regen, the resistances, the support and power. It's going to be very important for players to have this, in my opinion. So there you have it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about this Haruhime as well. I'm curious to see what you all have to say. Of course, this is my opinion, my thoughts. I could be a little bit off. Maybe you guys might have some words regarding that. And I do think maybe the 4 damage dealing setup is just better, but like I said, you know, that support, especially if you're a starting player, is very vital. So there you have it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all next time. Bye bye, guys.